Vor nicht allzu langer Zeit waren wir für euch auf der Media Convention und der Republika unterwegs und da wir nicht genug kriegen können von Technologie-Großevents, bin ich für euch hier bei dem Tech Open Air Festival auf dem Funkhausgelände. Das Wetter ist gut und es ist eine richtige Festivalstimmung und ich stürze mich jetzt für euch ins Getümmel. Viel Spaß! Das Tech Open Air findet zum 7. Mal in Berlin statt und ist eines der führenden Tech-Events in Europa. 4 Tage lang kommt die Digitalszene aus Wissenschaftlern, Künstlern und Unternehmern hier zusammen, um gemeinsam zu diskutieren, zu lernen, neue Projekte vorzustellen und natürlich auch um Spaß zu haben. Um die 150 SpeakerInnen und mehr als 20.000 Gäste sind hier am Start und beschäftigen sich mit Themen wie die Zukunft der Mobilität, der Medizin oder unserer Natur. Ein Thema, was da natürlich nicht fehlen darf, soziale Medien. You pointed out in your talk that you want to bring humanity back to social networks.
Yeah, exactly.
So how does that work?
Currently, when I open any big social media site, it's not me who decides what I see. I don't even know why I see this. I didn't sign up for it. It's there, and I'm led to believe that I signed up for it. So it's the machine that decides, and by doing that, it actually pushes me further into this cocoon of information that it has created for me, and that's not human. That's basically turning us into robot-like creatures who follow a certain path that has been made for us. What we believe should be done, we should bring back the quality to the content, the transparency to the content. So basically, we should give people the right to choose what they get and reward quality content themselves. And the technology is actually here, it's the right time, with the introduction of and rise of blockchain and the cryptocurrencies.
Okay, can I just, because I think a lot of people who are watching still don't know what that is. I mean, we hear blockchain and cryptocurrency, so can you maybe give a short explanation for dummies?
That is actually the hardest question you have asked so far, because I have to do it like in 2 sentences. Let's say some influential media has published an article which says that we will all die in 3 days. And how do I know it's true? Because it comes from a single source. And maybe somebody just faked it.
Yeah, talking about fake news.
Yeah, exactly. That's talking about fake news. Maybe it's not the same media. It's somebody else who has hijacked the name or made a very similar name that looks like it. And maybe they have used manipulation, social engineering, trolls to actually upvote that content, so I get to see it from many different places, and it suddenly feels important. Mm-hmm. Now, with blockchain, that's not really possible because you can track where the data originates from and what has been done to it, what has been changed.
Okay.
And as regards cryptocurrencies, that's basically the next level, like the new generation of money that you launch digitally that does not have to be bound to a particular state.
And just to be sure that everyone understood, you make sure that valuable content is posted on the social network by a rewarding system.
Yeah, exactly.
So can you point that out one more time, please?
Of course. We believe that something that is valuable, it needs to be rewarded. And the digital money, the cryptocurrencies, allow us to do something that was not possible before. It allows the people actually to reward each other with the cryptocurrency for quality content, and quality content is basically the key in any social media, in any online media that we have. Well, you know that.
So I have to pay in order to see that content then, or can I decide whether I want to pay for it or not?
Of course, it's actually even more than that. You can actually order it yourself. So you don't even need to go there and say there's ready content, do I pay for it or not? You can go to somebody whom you respect, from whom you want the content, from whom you want an answer on something important to, and you can say, I have this important question and I'm actually bidding my coins, my crypto money, for a good answer.
How probable is it, do you think, that a system like that really gets popular? In the same way as, for example, Facebook.
Yeah, well,
is-
the first thing which is important is that we are already popular, so it's a bit easier. We have 200 million registered users, so they are already using the platform, and we will not force them to pay. They will be using free content if they want to, but they will have a premium option that they can also use. The second thing, which I also mentioned in my talk, is that I believe that we evolve, and we are nowadays paying for a lot of things that we did not recognize 10 years ago. At some point, everyone was stealing music. Everybody thought, why should we pay for music? Because there's torrents, we can actually use that and get it for free. Nowadays, more and more people are subscribing because they want to thank the authors for quality content. And I think it's true about any content that you are actually interested in getting not a lot, but you are interested in getting what you actually are find of high quality, and there will be more and more people who will value that.
But do you think it will be as much people as there are on Facebook right now, that eventually an alternative platform like that will replace a platform like Instagram, Facebook, talking about the popular ones?
Yeah, that's
Or is it just a vision?
That's a good question. I think that it will certainly not replace it. Just like when you go to a kiosk, you have like a huge amount of yellow press, and that's what everyone likes to buy. Most of people, I mean, that's the volume. But then there are also especially in Germany, there's the quality media, and there are people who are ready to pay more for it, and there's enough of them. And those people who pay for the premium media, they are actually the opinion leaders. They are the ones who influence the others. So I don't think it's something that can like grow bigger than Facebook, but that's not the goal. The goal is quality here.
Okay, naja, so ganz überzeugt bin ich davon noch nicht. Ganz ehrlich, am liebsten würde ich das Ganze einfach nur abschalten. Keine Bildschirme, kein Vibrieren, keine Notifications. Einfach nur sein. Ich freue mich sehr, dass Gelong Tupten bei mir sitzt. Er ist ein buddhistischer Mönch und ist in einer ganz besonderen Position hier auf dem Festival. Und ja, ich freue mich. I'm very happy that you're with us, Tupten. Welcome. And maybe you can explain to us what you've been doing so far at the festival and what is following.
So this morning I led meditation at around 10 o'clock, 10 minutes meditation. And then we had a mindful lunch just now. That was great. Everyone, well, not everybody, but some people came with their lunch and ate quietly, and I guided them in how to chew slowly and observe all the sensations as they're eating and be in a kind of relaxed state. And then later this afternoon, I'm giving a talk about how to stay human in the digital age with all of this speedy technology, how to maintain awareness and compassion.
Yeah, I feel like it's a very important position that you're in such a festival. So my question would be, first of all, how much time do you spend on social media per day?
I'm there. I mean, when I was in the retreat, in the monastery, we had no phones, no computers, nothing. We were just involved in meditation. But now I'm very much in the world, teaching, traveling. So I have a phone and I have a social media presence, and it's a very good way to connect with people and share information. But I know that if I practice mindfulness every day, this helps me not to get too toxic, from all the technology. It helps me to have some peace and not be completely addicted, because I think it's easy to get addicted to your phone.
Definitely. How do you do that?
Through moments throughout the day. So I meditate every day for a session. I do a couple of sessions a day. And then throughout the day, I do tiny moments of conscious awareness where I focus my attention on my body or my breathing, even in a busy situation. I mean, I like to do this standing in the queue in an airport, or when I'm traveling, or washing my hands, or brushing my teeth. Just small moments of mindfulness many, many times a day. And what this does is it keeps you grounded, it keeps you real, it keeps you in the moment, because we're kind of in a distracted culture, wouldn't you say? Like we're in a culture where it's all about the past or the future or what's happening the other side of the world. You know, people are eating their food, but then seeing what other people are eating on social media.
Yes.
Nobody's in the moment. We've got to get into the moment.
And you have been a monk for 24 years,
Yeah.
I read. So when was the moment, or can you recall the moment where you said, okay, I want to focus my work on this social media world or this technological digital world we're living in, and offer help to the people?
Yeah, I started to give meditation classes after being a monk for about 4 or 5 years. So I've been doing this kind of teaching work for about 20 years. And I really enjoy teaching in all kinds of different situations, like the corporate world or education or healthcare. And you have to speak the same language. You know, they're involved in the world of technology, so I'm also involved in that because then you're sharing the same language, and from within that language you can help people to transform their minds. So I even have a meditation app called Samten, which people are using now, and that's me on an app teaching. And my theory is, well, everyone's addicted to their phone anyway, so use the phone in a healthy way.
Do you receive criticism for that too, maybe? You're actually using that social media in order to get away from it? What I mean?
No, because I'm using these things in order to help people. So it's the motivation.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm not making money from this. The money goes to charity. So people like what I do because they know it's really about helping people. It's not my business. It's not my career. It's just about compassion.
You're consulted by big companies like Google, for example. What is your experience working with those companies?
Generally, all the companies I work with, everybody is stressed. You know, they've got too much on their plate, and they're looking for techniques that they can apply to calm down the stress and maintain a sense of humanity, because they're all surrounded by computers all day and deadlines. So whether it's Google or whether it's a small company somewhere or a startup or a charity, everybody's kind of the same, you know. Sometimes I'll spend the morning teaching people in a prison and in the afternoon lawyers in a boardroom, and they're the same people. Everyone's the same. They have different details in their lives, but everybody's experiencing stress, upset, confusion, and a need to balance the mind. I think we've got to have digital detox from time to time. I think we've got to turn our phone off sometimes. I think we've got to eat a meal with people and not have the phone in front of us. I think like anything, it needs balance. If you eat too much sugar, it's bad for you. If you eat even too much healthy food, it can be bad for you if you eat just one thing all the time. You've got to do everything in balance. So it's the same with technology. If you can keep it in balance, then it's not going to harm you, and you've got to stay the boss of your own reality. Don't let the phone run you.
Let's let it end with that, this interview. It was very nice to meet you.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Cool, thank you very much.
Good that you're there.
Thank you, thank you.
Thank you.
Alles klar, also der digitalen Welt einfach mal entkommen und sich ganz auf die reale Welt besinnen. Im Moment sein. Vor allem unsere Sinne wahrnehmen. Die digitale Welt bringt ja vor allem das Fühlen von Display-Oberflächen mit sich. Aber wie sieht es mit den anderen Sinnen aus? Zum Beispiel riechen.
Ich freue mich sehr, dass Cecile Tolas und Fritz Strempel bei mir sind. Welcome, Cecile and Fritz. You just held a very entertaining and interesting talk about the combination of technology and senses and how important the senses are. And you said something very interesting in the talk. You said, or maybe it was you, the biggest sickness of our society is disembodiment.
Yes,
I said that. Can you point out what you meant?
It's a quote from me. I think the biggest illness of our time is disembodiment. We are not at all in touch with our senses properly. We live in a world that's primarily driven by how things look like. And that's demonstrated itself also how, smartphones are having a huge impact in our life. We literally record our life with snapping it away, and doesn't mean that we experience that moment. Yeah, we have an image of it, but doesn't mean anything anymore. Yeah? And if we're not capable of repairing all the damage we have done by not using our senses properly, soon we will have none at all. And I think that's the essence of this collaboration.
Can you tell us about some examples where senses and technology are, how do you say in English, put together and work together and not, separated?
We have presented to you one of our projects in which we use the sense of smell, a smell molecule that makes you alert when you need it to, in order to make driving a car safer. But there's other uses that we're working on. For example, the consciousness of time, where you can use your senses to know about what time it is without having to look at your watch.
And do you actually work on the development of technology right now, like for example, for smell as defense? You talked about that. Is there already a product out that you can use, or are you working on it?
Pretty much ready. The prototypes is there. Smell is ready. We are planning to do the testing. It's a very low-tech device that enables the youngest women in the world to activate it.
And how does it look like? How can I use this device, or how is it used?
It's like a button, and you push a button and emit the smell in a second, and you literally scare the attacker, and you make the whole neighborhood aware that something is wrong.
And one last thing, you said technology can actually make us more human. That sounds interesting. What do you mean by that?
What I mean is, what makes us human is our ability to use the senses. It is our sensory intelligence. So whenever we develop technology that is able to communicate with us through the senses, it will enable us to use our sensory intelligence most, which means the technology enables us to become more human, more natural than we've ever been before. But that requires the entire tech industry to keep the senses in mind.
Okay, so as you said, you're already also approached a lot by companies or by the industry, or how does it look like? You demand it?
Oh yes.
Oh yes.
The phone is hot.
Oh yes. Oh yes.
The phone. I still have a phone. Yes, it's the hot. The phone is. The phone is very hot. It's soon on fire.
Okay, so I'm very excited about that. And one last thing, you gave us the audience in the room this card, and you said it can be activated by touch, and you can smell. So how does it work?
So the card, the postcard, is embedded with a nanotechnology that literally on the surface of the card, and that can only be activated if you touch it properly. So on this side, you touch it and then you smell the card. So the card becomes the skin of the experience you had meeting us.
Yeah. Oh yeah. It's the same. It's
The
a citrus
same molecule
scent.
as you got in the beginning before.
Okay.
So you're coded already. So mission is accomplished.
I'm coded. Thank you very much, Cecile and
You're
Fritz,
welcome.
and good luck for
Thank you very
your future
much.
projects. Thank you.
Was das Tech Open Air auszeichnet, ist vor allem der interdisziplinäre Ansatz. Neben Wissenschaftlern und Unternehmern sind vor allem auch Künstler wichtig, um neue Visionen für unsere Zukunft zu entwickeln.
Ich sitze hier mit Laura Ribeiro, einer Künstlerin aus Brasilien. Laura, welcome. Tell us more about your project here.
So my project is about memory preservation in the future of traveling. So my idea is that, for example, in the future when you're traveling, after instead of like carrying so many gadgets with you and like trying to record and film everything and not actually living the moments properly. So instead of doing that, there would be this sort of service that I developed, which is a pillow here that when you come back from your trip, you can lie on that pillow and that pillow collects all of your memories. So the most remarkable ones would be like printed, like translated into souvenirs, which then later on you would get like at home or like by post or something. So I have like 5 different souvenirs, and each souvenir represents a sense. So if your most remarkable memory was like a super nice smell, or like even, maybe it was a bad thing as well, like it could happen, then you would receive this and you could like live that moment once again when you open it. So you would pop something and then the smell would come, or you would turn the CD and then the sound would come again. So yeah, it's basically this recollection of memory. So then I decided to create this as an installation so that people could also like interact with it. So at first I didn't have VR. And then, after like the second exhibition that I did, I said, okay, I'm gonna use VR because I think it's also, I had like all the souvenirs that are a more like analog aspect of the project. And so I thought, okay, it would be nice to also have something very technological, like very futuristic, because the idea is actually set in the future.
So just to make sure that people understand, that doesn't exist in reality. It's
yes,
just
it's all fictional, of course.
Fictional.
It's just
idea.
like a storytelling.
But nevertheless, I mean, technology is very advanced, as we know.
Yes.
Have you researched about the probability that something like that could actually exist?
Yes. Actually, like it was very interesting because a guy that came here to ask about my project, he works for a company that is starting to develop like sensors that you put on your head, and then these sensors can actually like start to recognize like thought and memory. So yeah, I think it's in development at the moment.
Yeah, it was definitely a pleasure, and
Yes,
let's
thank
see.
you.
Maybe we can use
Maybe
this
we can
device
have this pillow
someday.
Yeah. Thank you very much.
Yeah, thank you, Laura Ribeiro.
Visionen für die Zukunft können also schneller, als man denkt, zur Realität werden. Wichtig sind dabei vor allem Leute mit Unternehmergeist, die die Zukunft aktiv mitgestalten. Im House of Tech stellen zahlreiche Aussteller ihre Startups vor.
Ja, ich sitze hier mit Laura Jorde von Startup Your Future. Ihr seid hier in dem House of Tech auch vertreten mit einem Stand. Erklär mal, was macht ihr bei Startup Your Future?
Ja, wir sind ein Programm, was Geflüchtete bei der Unternehmensgründung unterstützen möchte. Und wir machen das über verschiedene Bausteine, hauptsächlich über ein Mentoring. Und zwar bringen wir die Geflüchteten mit Mentoren aus der lokalen Wirtschaft zusammen, die entweder selber gegründet haben oder aber wirklich eine ganz spezifische Erfahrung mitbringen und das gerne teilen möchten mit den Geflüchteten.
Und erzähl mal, was sind denn so für Projekte entstanden?
Also es gibt ganz viele, die so auf dem Weg dahin jetzt noch sind. Wir haben aber ein wirklich schönes Beispiel. Ein Teilnehmender hat bereits seinen ersten eigenproduzierten Käse verkauft. Tscherkessischer Käse, wenn ich das jetzt richtig ausspreche, was eine sehr schöne Geschichte ist, finde ich, und auch viele Business-Kontakte gemacht. Wir haben aber auch Leute dabei, die mittlerweile die ersten Prototypen für Webseiten und Apps aufsetzen.
Ihr werdet ja, so wie ich das richtig verstanden habe, auch von der Bundesregierung unterstützt. Ist das auch gerade was, wo in der Politik ein Fokus drauf gelegt wird, vermehrt, dass Selbstständigkeit auch gefördert wird?
Also wir werden ja vom Bundesministerium für Wirtschaft tatsächlich gefördert und das war auch auf deren Initiative hin entstanden, dieses Projekt. Genau, und wir arbeiten da sehr eng zusammen und sehr vertrauensvoll und machen da auch wirklich eine gute Erfahrung mit viel Unterstützung. Wir waren letztens beim Innovationstag und zwei unserer Teilnehmenden, die wirklich beide super cool sind, waren auf der Bühne mit Peter Altmaier zusammen und hatten da den privaten Talk, was halt eine unglaublich coole Erfahrung ist. Aber ich bin auch total beeindruckt davon, was Leute so auch an sozialen Ideen mitbringen. Ja? Also die möchten ja auch ganz oft dann gesellschaftlich noch wieder was bewegen und zurückgeben. Und wir haben eine wunderbare Geschichte, davon hatte ich dir vorhin ganz kurz mal erzählt, Abdul Hadi Sufan, der auch über den Kooperationspartner Singa von uns zu uns kam. Der hat ein laufendes Unternehmen, womit er so sein täglich Brot verdient und macht jetzt darüber hinaus aber eben auch so eine soziale Crowdfunding-Plattform, mit der er zerstörte Städte wieder aufbauen will. Und also sowas finde ich einfach, das ist eine große Vision dahinter und der Mann hat so viel Herzblut, tolles Projekt. revivinghome.org.
Super. Und kommt es auch vor, dass Leute, die auch schon Erfahrung und Expertise mitbringen, zu euch kommen, die eben auch Erfahrungen mit der Selbstständigkeit gemacht haben?
Ja, ganz oft. Also guter Punkt. Ganz viele bringen eigene Erfahrungen mit oder zumindest aus dem familiären Umfeld. Und was ich wirklich bewundernswert finde, ist so eine ganz starke Macherkultur. Auch den Mut, also es bedarf ja immer Mut, glaube ich, sich selbstständig zu machen, aber dann eben nochmal in dieser besonderen Herausforderung und dem besonderen Umfeld hier das zu tun, ist unglaublich toll. Und bei diesem Auftakt-Event, wo sich Mentor und Mentee kennenlernen, da haben wir ja dann immer so 40 Leute da, ist ein enormer Gründer-Spirit. Es ist grandios immer zu sehen.
So, und das war's auch schon vom Tech Open Air 2018 und ich muss sagen, das war mit das entspannteste Technologie-Event, auf dem ich bislang war. Geile Location und Gäste und Themen aus den verschiedensten Bereichen. Ich gehe jetzt mit ganz viel Eindrücken nach Hause und wir sehen uns das nächste Mal. Tschüss!